Yeah, that's how you know it's official. Y'all see the mic? You see the mic right there? Let me fix the pop filter. Yeah. Oh yeah, baby. We right. We right. Okay. Alright. Okay. I'm working on my Denzel Washington impression. What's going on, guys? It's your man's FlammyMarciano, aka the Flam Guy, aka FlamGawdGaming. Back at it again on this podcast team, bro. Yeah. Keep It a Bean is back. Keep It a Bean is back.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
I've contemplated about bringing this series back for a while now. I feel like the time when I was thinking about it wasn't the time to bring it back, but I have a bigger voice, you know, and I love sports, man. I love sports. I love football. I love basketball. Baseball I can get into. Soccer I can get into, you know. I just love anything with the competitive nature behind it. So that's super lit to me. Matter of fact, can you guys do me a favor and just hit the like right now? And if you're not sub, I'd recommend you just sub right now, just cause. But if you guys could just hit a like and leave a comment down below if you guys are excited. I'm excited personally. I get to talk about sports. I get to talk about football. I try not to talk about the things that's already been spoken about, or people that are already talking about on Fox Sports News, ESPN, CBS, all that stuff, Bleacher Report. I try to do my own thing. You know, I try to make it fun, try to make it fresh, try to make it interesting. But yeah, I'm excited. If you guys agree or disagree with me, if you disagree, keep it respectful. Even if you agree, keep it respectful. Comment down leave a comment, man. Like, I want to talk. Like, this is probably going to be the most interactive I'll be with the comment section, because I like debating sports. I like talking sports. It's fun to me. So yeah, if you guys hear anything that you like or don't like, feel free to comment about it down below. So yeah, let's get right into it, bro. Like I said, you guys know I'm a big football fan. Everyone's talking about, you know, the new signings and the trades, and the fun part about football is that people would like to talk about, you know, the quarterbacks. Usually when quarterbacks go to new places, they get new weapons, you know, or they'll get a quarterback and they sign new weapons. For example, the Tom Brady to Gronk, Phillip Rivers, the T.Y. Hilton, Baker when he picked up OBJ a couple years ago. If you guys don't see, I am a Browns fan. Can y'all see the shirt? There you go. Y'all can see the shirt. But I kind of want to take it in a different direction. You know what I'm saying? I want to go in a different direction. I got my notes right here. So for today's episode, this is, bro, what is it, season 2, season 3 of Keep It a Bean? This is going to be episode 1, man. This is the pilot. Like, this is the season premiere of Keep It a Bean. I'm super excited. A lot of people are talking about, like, new faces offensively. I want to talk about the new faces in the secondaries. A lot of secondaries were switched around. People are moving from corner to safety, safety to corner, slot to outside. Follow guy, man zone. A lot of safety switches have happened, especially in a passing league. I feel like this is something you definitely have to look into, something you definitely have to keep an eye out for. Game planning, for example, you know, Darius Slade went somewhere. Dallas is now going to have to game plan around him. He's most likely going to be shadowing Amari Cooper, most likely going to be shadowing Terry McLaurin, most likely going to be shadowing Darius Slayton, and things of that sort. So let's go ahead and hop into it, man. So I have the top 5 new secondary tandems, for keyword new. So this is a list of guys or tandems or duos that are now new teammates. You know, for example, I'm not going to put Jimmy Smith and Marlon Humphrey in the top 5 because they've been playing together for a while. You know, like I said, we're going to do something new. We're going to do something fresh. All right. Here are these are my honorable mentions. So my honorable mentions are going to be, so in Seattle, they picked up Quentin Dunbar to go opposite side of Shaquille Griffith, which it's cool. It was a cool pickup. I wouldn't say it was, you know, a blockbuster pickup or anything like that, but ever since the Legion of Boom, Seattle ain't been booming, if that makes sense. Legion of Boom ain't been booming, more like Legion of Doodle, you know. And if you want to help out Russell Wilson, get that man some. Everyone says get him some help on offense. I feel like he needs some help on defense, man. Especially with the pass rusher. That last D tackle they drafted didn't help out too much. But they did pick up Quentin Dunbar, who I would say he's like, pretty much an NFL vet. He knows how the game works. He's been around the block a couple times. And, Shaquille Griffin is young. He's a young guy. I feel like Quentin is going to be a great mentor to him. Quentin's never been like a top 5, top 10 guy, but he's always been solid enough to kind of similar to how Byron Maxwell was during the Legion Boom days, or was it Jeremy Lane, stuff like that. So that's an honorable mention. Next honorable mention, we're gonna go Xavier Rhodes and Rock Ya-Sin in Indy. Xavier Rhodes was supposed to be the guy in Minnesota, didn't work out. I would say he declined as far as play is concerned, but anybody who's ever played at a high level at any point in their career, they're most likely going to have a long career. You're going to have a coach who believes in you. You're going to have a coordinator who's played against you or played with you and is going to believe in you. Rock Ya-Sin is a young guy, came out of Temple a couple years ago. Once again, match up a veteran with a young guy, show him the ropes. I feel like they're definitely going to be able to prosper down there in Indy. And let's not forget, they have Malik Hooker at safety. If he can stay healthy, I like Indiana's defense, or Indianapolis's defense, especially with Darius Leonard, who got robbed of a All-Pro but snub. But that's besides the point. My last two honorable mentions, the Raiders picked up Prince Amukamara to match up with Trayvon Mullen. Once again, another vet linking up with a youngin. And they also picked up Damon Arnett in the draft, which was, to me, I feel like it was a great pick, even though they picked him a little early. I feel like Ohio State has been DBU for a couple years now, so I like what Gruden and Mayock are doing down there in Las Vegas. That feels so weird to say. In Dallas, Clinton Dix and Cheeto. This isn't necessarily a corner duo, and I might be a little biased because Cheeto is my man's, but rumor has it that Cheeto might be playing a little safety. I've played with Cheeto. When Cheeto is at safety, nobody is safe at any level of the game. In high school, this man would play corner, drop back, play safety, cover 2, and literally cover the entire field himself. Stupid speed. Clinton Dix is also a proven safety who's played under Nick Saban, knows how pro defenses work. Clinton Dix and Cheeto back there at safety. I honestly feel like it's gonna get hard to go deep on those guys. So those are my two sleeper picks. Like I said, those are the honorable mentions. Let's get into the actual list. Number 5, I got AJ Bouye, Bryce Callahan, Denver. Why I had them number 5 ahead of those honorable mentions? Bradley Chubb was hurt last year. Von Miller was getting double, triple teamed a lot. Chris Harris Jr. is gone, but hear me out. Bradley Chubb and Von Miller, when those guys are working together, you can't double team anyone. You low-key gotta pray that your left and right tackle can hold these men. And I'm super excited to see how Denver plays out. Now they have a quarterback to play. They don't have to worry about offseason scrambling to find their guy or, drafting someone and praying that they're going to work. I feel like the way Drew Lock played and showed me something that I didn't know he had. He has moxie. The kid got heart. He's going places. I like him. And no, not because of the Young Jeezy video, but we're talking about defense right now. And a young quarterback's two best friends is a run game and a great defense. Denver has a run game. Denver has a really strong run game. I wouldn't say up there with the elites, with the greats, but they have a run game. If this defense can get to clicking and get offense on the field and get them to go in a rhythm with the mile-high advantage, I feel like Denver can go really far. AJ Bouye is really going to hold his own. Let's not forget, AJ Bouye was opposite of Jalen Ramsey back when Jacksonville was tearing up the league a couple years ago. And on the other hand, Bryce Callahan is an up-and-coming star, bro. Mark my words, the kid's good. Great speed, great ball skills. I feel like Chris Harris Jr. taught him just enough so that when Chris Harris left, he was going to be able to prosper. All right, next up. A lot of people might hate me for this, but I think Josh Norman going to Buffalo and playing opposite of Tre'Davious White is going to be so beautiful for that defense. Now, we can all agree here. When Josh Norman was in Washington, that man was doodle. He stunk. He was bad. He was very, very bad. All right. Especially, you know, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. But this dude was getting barbecued by no names. You feel me? It got to the point where I felt like people weren't even game planning against him. He was, I think, he had the highest salary cap as far as corners was concerned, either last year or the year before. This man is getting paid like a top 5 corner, but playing like a top 50 guy. So I feel like this is the new start that he needs. It's a fresh start. He finally has somebody worth game planning against on the opposite side of him. He's never had that in his career. Tre'Davious White is arguably a top 5, top 7 corner in the league. Put those two together, Josh Norman's getting a fresh start. He's a vet, so he gets to play in a vet way. I love Coach McDermott. I feel like Coach McDermott and Norman are going to go like this, hand in hand. Write up some schemes for him. As far as his speed, I don't know. We got to see what kind of shape he's in at the coming of the season, but I have Josh Norman and Tre'Davious White at number 4. Number 3. If you guys could see my notes, what I have written down for number 3, I have Darius Slay in them, which means it don't matter who you put on that other side at corner. Darius Slay is gonna help them out a bunch. I have Darius Slay in them at number 3, just because. Let's be real, Philly has some good corners, man. They have some good DBs. I heard Jalen Mills might be playing a little strong safety this year, so we'll see about that. But as far as Nicole Roby Coleman, I think that's how you say his name, and then Vontae Maddox, those guys held on when they could, especially that Packers game. That Packers game, I think Philly was literally down to 1.5 corners, especially when Maddox got knocked out. To play under that kind of pressure against Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and that, you know, that high-powered offense, they showed some heart, man. You throw Darius Slay into the mix, I don't see anybody beating Philly like convincingly this year, unless, you know, once again, Wentz goes down, but I don't see Philly shit in the bed this year. So I'm super excited to see how these boys are going to play. But like I said, Darius Slay in them, you could put me a corner on the other side. Darius Slay just boosts Philly's stock so high. Let's not forget, Philly still has one of the top 5 defensive fronts. You give that quarterback hell and you put Darius Slay on their star wide receiver, it's going to be hard to try to pass down the field on this team and run. I got Philly. Philly's I wouldn't even call him a dark horse. I got Philly coming out of the NFC this year, but we'll see. At number 2, I have Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. Now, Byron Jones left Dallas. There wasn't enough money to go around. And according to Dak, there still ain't enough money to go around. But Byron Jones was a freak of nature coming out of the combine. The dude's combine numbers were crazy. Translated to the NFL. I feel like defensively, Dallas didn't know what to do with him. Similar to Cheeto, how Cheeto's moving to safety now with Byron being gone. But Byron's speed, his jumping ability, his hands, his ball skills, and you match him up with Xavier Howard, who was already, some people thought he was a top 5, top 3 corner in the league. You put those dudes on the outside, they help that young front out so much. It's beautiful. It is amazing. Now, as far as safety is concerned, you know, with McCain, Eric Rowe, Adrian Colbert, there's a lot of question marks back there. But as far as the outsides are concerned, I would even mess around and try to put Byron on some slot situations, you know. Cool. The great thing about that is that they don't have to worry too much about weapons in that division. So I think Miami might be able to sneak out a little winning division record. New England doesn't have anybody to throw to outside of Edelman. I feel like Byron Jones or Xavier can handle him himself. You got the New York Jets. They don't really have a guy. Robbie Anderson's gone. Quincy Enunwa. I liked him, but I don't know what's going on with him. And then lastly, you have fluff. I had the Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, Bills. Now that's gonna be a great game to watch. John Brown, Stephon Diggs versus Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. I would love to see. I'm watching that game. Last year, a couple years ago, that wouldn't have been a watchable game. This year, it's going to be a very watchable game. So I would definitely keep an eye out on Byron Jones and Xavier Howard wreaking havoc in the AFC East. Last but not least, this was a no-brainer. Like, come on now. This is a no-brainer, bro. Chris Harris Jr. and Casey Hayward, like, matched up with Derwin James. They easily have the best secondary in the league. Like, it's not even fair. Screw the top 5 new secondary tandems. The Chargers became so good when they picked up Chris Harris, and at the same time, they're able to maintain Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. Is Thomas Davis still there? I don't know. But either way, like, that defense is crazy. That's crazy. Of course, the Chargers have had history of having, a top 3 roster on paper. Can Bowles put it together? I don't know. We'll see. We're just going to have to wait and see. But yeah, those are my top 5 new tandems in the NFL. Definitely keep an eye on all those guys. It's going to be exciting, especially the AFC East. I would like to see how that pans out. Like I said, with, they have Byron Jones, Xavier Howard, and then they got Josh Norman, Tre'Davious White. AFC East is going to be fun to watch this year if you like football. If you're just a casual, it's going to be boring to you. But if you're a football head like me, you're going to really, really enjoy watching those small matchups. It's going to be awesome. All right, let's move on to our next segment of the day. Next segment is, like I said, new football season, new NFL season. Training camp isn't going to go how things usually go due to COVID-19 and the coronavirus that's been spreading throughout the country. That's, postponed our NBA season, postponed our MLB season, postponed the NHL, soccer, all of that. Thank God the NFL was not playing during this time, because I'd be upset. But I'm going to be real with you, Chief. I see a lot of people going outside, which is not good, not promising. I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL gets pushed back, or if, we have a second rush of corona cases coming in. Not excited about that. But we also have new coaches, man. New coaches going into systems, and it sucks because it's not fair to them, but they don't know these players like that yet. They don't know about how their guys are in person. They don't know how guys run, how guys throw, how guys catch in person. They have to get a feel virtually through, phone calls and Zoom calls and FaceTimes and all that, and it's going to be rough. But these are the coaches that I feel like are going to prosper regardless of their situations. I'm not saying they're making playoffs this year. I'm not saying they're going to have a winning record, but I feel like these guys are going to take what's given to them and make the most out of it. And very, very promising teams. Now, I am a Browns fan, so Kevin Stefanski is on my list. Let me tell you why it's not biased, and it makes sense. So Kevin Stefanski was actually raised around a professional sports organization front office. His dad was an NBA executive, so he knows how an organization should be ran, let alone a family. And that's what sports are. Team sports are. It's a family. It's a home away from home. I feel like Kevin Stefanski is going to be able to adapt to this organization. But here's the thing about the Browns. We have zero credibility. We have nothing to fall back on. When people talk smack to me, I kind of have to take it because I don't have shit to show them. I don't have proof that this is Baker's bounce back here. I don't have proof that we're going to make playoffs. I don't have proof that we're going to have a plus 500 record. I have nothing to go off of. So the cool thing about Kevin Stefanski is that he's a mature coach. He's a smart guy. And the cool thing about him coming to Cleveland after being in Minnesota for a couple years, if you look at Minnesota and Cleveland's offense, it's low-key the same exact as far as personnel is concerned. I would say the offensive line is a lot better than what it is in Minnesota. But if you go running back, you have Dalvin Cook, you have Nick Chubb. You can say those two mirror each other. In Minnesota, you have Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. Now you have Jarvis Landry and OBJ. You can make an argument that those also mirror each other. Tight end, you have Kyle Rudolph. Now you have Austin Hooper and David Njoku. So you can kind of say, at running back, Kareem Hunt, you can kind of say Brown's offense on paper is better than Minnesota's. Now, Baker and Kirk Cousins, if you ask me, I feel like that is a very, very... I don't know if they mirror each other, but they're very similar. They're very, very similar. Kirk Cousins turned up that one game. You like that? But Baker, did that his rookie and sophomore year. He did a lot of talking. Did a lot of talking this year. He hasn't been talking as much, which I love. I'm super proud of him, but we got to see how that translates on the football field. But Kevin Stefanski is walking into a very wishy-washy organization. He's walking into a great team on paper, but we got to see how these personalities mesh. We got to see if he can maintain a Baker and Odell at the same time, you know. He did bring in Joe Woods, defensive coach for the Niners, to help him out defensively. I'm super excited to see where we go with this. Now, the next coach up that I feel people are really, really sleeping on this guy, man. Coach Matt Rule in Carolina. Now, let me read this to you. When he was at Temple, first year at Temple, they went 2-10. Second year at Temple, they went 6-6. Third year at Temple, they went 10-4. And the year after that, they went 10-3. This is Temple, guys. This isn't like Texas or Oklahoma or Ohio State. This is a football organization with no legacy whatsoever. He created a legacy. Now after that, he got hired by Baylor. Let me read this off to you. First year at Baylor, he went 1-11. Second year at Baylor, he went 7-6. Third year at Baylor, he went 11-3. Are we starting to see a trend here? I feel like I'm seeing a trend. And I will not be surprised if Carolina somewhat makes a run for this division and is at least in playoff talks halfway through the season, halfway, 3/4 through the season. He has Christian McCaffrey, who is, I guess you could say, the staple of the offense. Teddy Bridgewater is also coming in. We don't really know what Teddy Bridgewater can provide for a full 16, but we did get a nice sample size in New Orleans. I trust Teddy Bridgewater to make plays. He's a very mature quarterback. He's going to make plays, but he's not going to, I feel like he'll win you games more than he loses them. His turnover ratio is beautiful. DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Greg Olsen is gone, but I feel like this Carolina team can definitely prosper. Now, as far as defense is concerned, with Ron Rivera, his defensive mind, with him being gone, I want to see what he does defensively. But I really like Matt Rule, man. The only thing that might hold him back is the patience. I don't know what the patience levels are in Carolina as far as the fans, owners, and GMs. I don't know if they expect him, because, in Temple, he didn't have a winning record until 3 years in there. Baylor, they didn't win a bowl game until he was there for 3 years. So it's gonna take some time for him to get used to the organization, get a feel for who his players are and who his guys are and his staff and all that. So I would not be surprised if Carolina actually is a double-digit win team this year. Just keep an eye out for that. Last but not least, now when this dude got hired, a lot of people were, raised their eyebrows. I was one of them. Not gonna lie, I was one of them. But everyone does that when someone gets traded or someone gets signed. Everyone has their initial thoughts of what they think that coach or that player or that staff member is going to turn out to be. When the Giants hired Joe Judge, I was like, why in the hell did they just sign a special teams specialist? Like, your defense sucks. Why didn't you go for Ron Rivera, Why didn't you go for a Kevin Stefanski? Why didn't you go for an Eric Bieniemy, But as I look into this, he is a special teams coach. And I don't know if you guys ever played sports before. If you have, then you'll know what I'm about to say. Special teams coaches are the most anal, coaches on the team. It's a discipline thing. People don't realize how important it's called special teams, people. I don't think people realize how important it is to have a strong special teams coach. Your lanes, your responsibilities, you have to be disciplined. Kicking, kickoff coverage, kick return blocking, punting, punt return coverage. Special teams wins games. And they'll lose you games too. And we've seen that in playoffs, Super Bowls, block kicks, missed field goals, PATs, people giving up kick return touchdowns to open up the Super Bowl, just like the Colts and the Bears. Special team coaches, they're very, very slept on. Harbaugh was once a special teams coach. He brought in and changed the whole culture. That's why I like Joe Judge. This dude is going to focus on the fundamentals. He has a young quarterback in Daniel Jones. He has Saquon. He has a pretty good offensive line. But that defense might be an issue, especially, you know, facing the Eagles and Cowboys 4 times a year. I feel like that's what his crutch is going to be. But let me read you off this list of people who have gave him the nod or the appreciation and co-signed for him. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but there's this one college coach called Nick Saban. Yeah, this guy said Joe Judge is one of the smartest young guys I've ever coached with of all time. Do I have to read off who Nick Saban coached, or is that enough? Okay, that's enough? Okay. There's another NFL coach, I don't know if you guys heard of him, called Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick co-signed this guy. Bill Belichick said, wherever Joe Judge goes, my teachings will follow. Let's just be real here. I'm just saying, guys, do not sleep on the Giants, do not sleep on the Panthers, and do not sleep on the Browns, man. Yeah, they had their cons, but these coaches are going to implement a thought process into these organizations, which is very, very needed right now. So I'm super excited to see how those teams pan out, man. Super excited. All right. Next up, our next segment. If you guys have been to my streams, or if you've seen me tweet before, or if you've ever talked sports with me online, I don't talk smack. I don't talk trash. I don't trash players. I just don't trash players because I believe in players, and I honestly think that everybody is good or can be serviceable in all ways possible. This segment's called Stop Writing Off. No write-offs, man. Stop writing guys off after 2 seasons. If someone gets traded somewhere and has a bad season or 2, don't write them off. I know the society we live in today is so now. Like, I need everything. The new iPhone comes out. You barely have enough to pay for rent and get the phone, and you get the phone because you need it. Instant gratification. I had a friend who wants a Tesla. He's struggling to deal with his mortgage right now, but he wants a Tesla. The fact that he wants it now too, which is the crazy part. Society we live in today, everything has to be instant gratification. Patience is what separates patience and trust is what separates a great GM or a great owner from a below average one. I'm gonna give you the definition of the word bust. So I have it right here. I literally looked up the definition. A bust is a player who's drafted day 1 and massively misses expectations. Now, some of this frustration is from me being a Baker fan and people writing him off after one bad season. And it wasn't even a trash season. It was a bad season, all right? What did he go, 22-22, 22-21? We're just going to sit here and act like we haven't seen worse seasons than that. Really, guys? Now, here's another thing I want to say. If you just don't like someone, Baker did talk a lot. I agree. Baker talked so much. It started to irritate me. But that's not why you should say he's a bum. Do not call him a bum because he talks too much. That's the difference between talking football and talking smack. You talk smack because there's something else wrong and you just want to downplay someone so much. For example, Alex Smith. His rookie year, he played in 9 games. Guess how many touchdowns he had? 1. Guess how many interceptions he threw? 11. Even, those years after that, he never really became that guy. It's like he was still in a quarterback competition. Now, when he gets a competent organization, a competent head coach, and a competent offensive coordinator, let's be real, Alex Smith was a great game manager. At one point, he was one of the greatest game managers in the league before his injury, of course. But Alex Smith, what if teams would have looked at his 1-11 season and wrote him off right in there? I say give guys at least 2 seasons, man. You got to give them 2 seasons. Next up, Eli Manning. Played in 7 games, rookie year. 48 completion percentage. 6 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in 7 games. Now, what if the Giants would have bailed on him early? Then what? Would they have their Super Bowls right now? I doubt it. His brother, Peyton Manning, his rookie year, this man threw 28 interceptions. All while he did set the touchdown record that was broken by Baker a couple years ago. He showed promise. Are we going to sit here and act like Baker didn't show promise his rookie year? He had one bad season. And once again, this all falls back on how organizations are ran. The Browns, this is his third year and his fourth head coach. Sam Darnold, we're going to get to that. Troy Aikman's rookie year. 18 interceptions and 9 touchdowns. With a 1-15 record. 1-15. Now, what if Dallas would have bailed on him then? Fans are as much as sometimes I dislike Colin Cowherd, he makes sense sometimes. This guy says fans are exactly that. The root fans is short for fanatic. Someone who is a maniac, insane, crazy, obsessive. Fans need to chill out, bro. Even if you're a football fan, you don't have to be a fan of the team to show respect, to show patience, to show consideration for a certain player or an organization. Use your common sense, bro. Like I said, some of you guys are football casuals. I totally understand, but you guys are gonna have to relax with the smack talk. It's frustrating to people like me. I have a friend. I might say his name. He might be on the show. I have a friend who is a football fan like me, diehard football fan. Analytics, stats, numbers, teams. He has a favorite team, but he appreciates someone on every single team in the league, or he appreciates a coach on every level of the game. And he agrees. Why are people writing off Baker? What's his name? Gabar Jamiliala or whatever the fluff his name is. This dude had the nerve to say that Baker should not be on an NFL roster. Anyways, so these are 3 guys that I think that are going to prosper given the right coach, the right organization, and when they start getting chemistry and things start to gel, do not write these guys off, man. We already talked about Baker. This dude had rookie of the year, guys. He had rookie of the year with Hugh Jackson as his head coach, and an interim Greg Williams and Freddie Kitchen, that offensive coordinator, was a rookie of the year runner-up, set the rookie touchdown record. After that, he had a bad season. Like I said, it wasn't trash, it wasn't horrible. He still went 22-21. He was drafted to a bad team, let's be real. And let's not forget, this team won 1 game in 2 years. Baker's been quarterback for this organization for 2 years, and I think we've won 13 games? Come on now. We won 13 times as many games with him at quarterback than before. Anyways, next up, Dwayne Haskins, bro. 80% completion percentage in his final game. His last 3 games, he had 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. When he starts gelling with Terry McLaurin, and when Washington somewhat finds a running back who's not fragile and made of porcelain, I feel like Dwayne Haskins has hope. Ron Rivera coached Cam. I'm not saying that because Dwayne Haskins is not a mobile quarterback. We all know. Well, I don't know if Stephen A knows that, but I know that Dwayne Haskins isn't a mobile quarterback. But Ron Rivera has dealt with the quarterback of his stature before, so he knows how it's going to work. He knows how, arm mechanics and all that. I love Ron Rivera dealing with Dwayne Haskins and trusting in him. A lot of people thought Washington would have went quarterback this year, but they went Chase Young. Washington's defense, y'all, watch out. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to just say watch out. I'm going to just say be aware of Washington's defense, all right? Last but not least, Sam Darnold, man. As much as I talk smack about Sam Darnold, I loved him coming out of college. I wanted him to be a Brown. I wanted Baker to be a Brown more. But I wanted Lamar Jackson to be a Brown too. But anyway, that's that. Sam Darnold also went to a really bad run organization. The team hasn't won shiznit since 2010. Don't get me started on why they won, because their defense, bro. Horrible coach, horrible offense. That defense carried. Sam Darnold, let let me just read this so you guys can actually hear this. Sam Darnold had 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in his final 7 games. What weapons did he have? What standout weapons did he have on offense? Le'Veon Bell wasn't doing anything because that offensive line was trash. Robbie Anderson was probably his only passing weapon. Quincy Enunwa couldn't stay healthy. Who did they have at tight end? I don't even know who they had at tight end. But Sam Darnold, guys, do not write him off. Now, from here on out, if you dislike a player, say I just don't like the player. Don't call him trash. This goes for my Browns, Steelers, and Bengals fans. Just because I'm your rival, because I don't do that. I've never called Lamar Jackson a running back. Never called Lamar Jackson trash. I don't know if he can play from behind, but that's not talking smack. That's actual stats, statistics. Steelers fans, I love the Steelers defense. Absolutely love them. I've never slandered their defense not one time. TJ Watt is arguably one of my favorite defensive players in the league. But Big Ben has a big fat question mark on his back. He's getting old, coming off a really, really bad elbow throwing injury. He has no weapons to throw to outside of Juju Smith-Schuster, who has underperformed in every way possible ever since AB left. The run game is still questionable. It just makes sense. If I'm a Niners fan, I'm not gonna call the Rams trash, because the Rams aren't trash. They're very serviceable. I just want to get that off my chest. Just going forward. All right. Second to last segment of the day. Today we are going to talk about the NBA. And I guess there was a Zoom call with 80 plus NBA and WNBA players who wanted to talk about going to Orlando to finish off the season and stuff like that, right? Kyrie Irving is the vice president of the Players Association. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Kyrie Irving stated. Now, Kyrie Irving said no on the season, and he said he would not lose love for those who oppose. What's going on in the world today? Which I agree with this 1,000%. We don't need sports back yet. We got something we need to focus on before we start worrying about kicking our feet up, watching games. Of course we miss it. We miss it because it was fun. It was entertaining for us. It brought us together. Kinda. It brought us together. It was fun. It was refreshing. But now is not the time to bring sports back. It's not. Because some people are, well, we need sports back to distract us from what's going on in the world. And that's the problem right there. That is a problem. This is not a time to intentionally I was too busy watching basketball. I didn't know that. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I was too busy watching sports. No. We kind of have to focus on what's going on right now in the world. And I commend Kyrie Irving so much for even having the balls to bring this to his peers and people who look up to him and people who he looks up to come out and say this. I'm super proud of him for it. And what made me even more proud is that the players who rallied behind him, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, Donovan Mitchell, were very vocal about supporting Kyrie Irving in this, man. Donovan Mitchell was pissed off because he felt like the youngest weren't being listened to. And this is not just in this Zoom call. He felt like in the league. Trae Young spoke up on something. They kind of ignored him. Mo Bamba would speak on something. Felt like he wasn't getting listened to. I love Donovan Mitchell for coming forward and saying that. Right now is the time. And what's going on, not in just police brutality or racism, but just what's going on in the world. We got to fix shit now. And the cool thing about this is that the civil rights movement back in the day was just, it was a black and white thing. It was a police brutality thing. What happened in America hit a nerve across the world. The Palestine movement. Mexican immigrants being disrespected and in cages, kids being lost, sexually abused, purposely treated wrongly, sleeping under aluminum foil. troops getting lost, women being disrespected and assaulted across the world. We have to fix this now before we even want to consider sports. Now, if sports comes back, will I watch it? Yes, but I have the mind power to know that this is just a game and it's just a sport, and that there's bigger problems going on out there in the world. Some people want sports to come back because, like I said, they want a distraction. They want something to no, because trying to make shit change, it's not comfortable. Having a conversation with your white friends about how blacks are getting treated wrongly, it's not a comfortable conversation to have. You know, talking to your friends who are Trump supporters about how a wall shouldn't be built, and educating them, not just talking shit. Similar to sports, don't just talk shit. Have logic behind what you're saying. That conversation's not gonna be comfortable. I had a conversation with my friends earlier in the week about the N-word. It was very uncomfortable. Made me uncomfortable, made them uncomfortable. They felt bad, I felt bad, but we talked about it. And that's what we need in the world today, man. We just need people to gather and rally together and speak life and peace and positivity. So I commend the NBA players for coming forward on that and talking about it. Pat Beverly said something like, LeBron James has the game by the balls, by the NBA, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're black. You probably have black kids. Now is the time to help your kids in the future about what's going on in the world. So I applaud all those NBA players for coming forward and speaking on that, man. That's what I just had to say about the NBA situation. Shout out to Kyrie Irving. And you know what's funny? Kyrie Irving said he wouldn't come back and play because he feels like he has a duty to do on the front lines of what's going on in the world. And I really, really love him for that. But when Kevin Durant said that he wasn't coming back no matter how long the season was strung out, people had issues. They were like, they had no problem with that. Because Kevin Durant's healthy. Let's be real. Kevin Durant is healthy. He hasn't been banged up. He hasn't been playing this year. People had no problem with that, with him stepping out to be healthy. But when Kyrie wants to step out and better the world and his people, then it's an issue. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But the NBA is very proactive as far as letting players have speeches. But another thing that worried me is that the players didn't even have a say-so in bringing the season back. They didn't have no say-so on the votes. I trust Adam Silver to do what's right. And, you know, most likely if we do have a season, I feel like we may not see some of our favorite players on the court. That's just how I feel about it. But we'll see. All right, guys, that's going to be the first episode of Keep It a Bean, man. I miss this. Next time we're going to have callers. We're going to have segments. We're going to have cool things. But before we go, I always do this. I did this last time. So we have two beans. We have two beans at the end of every podcast episode. We have a green bean and we got a mean bean. The green bean is the good guy that I'm going to highlight for the week. We're going to do this weekly every Monday. I'm going to drop an episode and I'm going to be like super excited to see how you guys react to it. Today's green bean of the week is Baker Mayfield, man. Baker came out and said that he's taking a kneel during the national anthem to support his brothers and sisters, not only in the league, but across the country, to protest what is going on in the world. And he said, I don't give a damn if I lose fans or followers. See, I don't know if you guys were in here. Some of you guys weren't in here for my stream on Saturday. It was like an impromptu stream. But I got a plan. And if I lose subscribers or followers or donations or sponsors because of what I believe in, so be it. If I make $1 a month off of this, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to get a job in the meantime, but I'm going to keep doing this, man. And I love Baker for that. Let's go ahead and switch to the PC screen. This is what Baker had to say about everyone upset about the comment. Baker said, everybody's so upset about my comment, doesn't understand the reasoning behind kneeling in the first place. Nate and Cap came to an agreement that kneeling was the most respectful way to support our military while also standing up for equality. I have the utmost respect for our military, cops, and people that serve our country. It's about equality and everybody being treated the same because we are all human. It's been ignored for too long, and that is my fault as well for not becoming more educated and staying silent. If I lose fans, that's okay. I've always spoken my mind, and that's from the heart. Ooh, reading that got me a little emotional, just a little bit. Just a little bit. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. I feel like T.O., man. That's my quarterback, bro. I'm so proud of Baker. But yeah, Baker Mayfield, Green Bean of the Week. I'm proud of you, brother. Now, as far as the Mean Bean of the Week, the Mean Bean is the bomb. Kind of like Donkey of the Day. But Mean Bean of the Week is going to go to Ray Ciccarelli. I don't like him enough to respect his name, respect how to say his name. But this is the guy who has retired from the NASCAR circuit because the Confederate flag has been banned at all NASCAR racing events. That's a step in the right direction, people. Shout out to NASCAR for being proactive in arguably one of the most racist forms of sports. I'm just saying, every racist I've seen on the internet has been a fan of NASCAR. That's all I'm gonna say. But let's just talk about this dude. In 18 races, in 3 years, he has 0 wins, 0 places. Now let me put that into perspective. All right, let's how can I do? Okay. For example, all right, let's do this. You guys see this? I don't know if you guys. It's a little gum pack, right? You know the little slots where the gum. Actually, let's take this out because he don't even got to win. Let's take this out. Let's say there's 18 slots in there, right? Let's say there's 18 slots, right? There isn't a single stick of gum in here. I have the same. He's been in the league for 3 years, has had 18 races, and me and him have the same amount of wins, same amount of polls, and the same amount of places. Just say you stink and leave, bro. Don't say that's why you're leaving. You're garbage. You're doodle. You're boo-boo. Who even reps the Confederate flag? They lost. Who reps an L that hard? Like, come on, son. I'm a Browns fan, and I know I don't talk smack about our 0-16 season. I just know to take my L and keep it moving. This, man. Anyways, that's the Mean Bean of the Week. I'm so happy to be back, guys. I'm so hyped. I'm so excited. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell. We're going to do this every Monday. We're going to have a Keep It a Bean episode. I'm going to try to get this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and stuff like that. But I'm hyped, man. I'm excited for the season. If we don't have a season, it's for good reason, you know. But make sure you comment, like, subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I upload all my videos. Make sure to share the video. Tell your friends about me. Hope you guys enjoy this video in the morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. I love you guys, and I hope you guys love me too. It's your boy FlamGawd signing off, saying, should I do it here or no? Do I do like, nah, this is different. This even got a different intro. We gotta find an outro. Ooh, instead of, I love you guys, hope you guys love me too. How about, if you keep it a bean with me, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. Ooh, that's hard body. I like that. All right. Hold on, let me do it over. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe down below. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you guys know when I upload videos. Share the video and tell your friends about me, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, or hope you guys enjoyed this episode in the morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. If you keep it a bean with me, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. This your boy FlamGawd signing off, saying doses. Bro, that's a hard outro. That's a hard body outro.